Welcome to Coming to New England. My name is Byron Karskoza, and my guest today is the assistant coach of the Rick baseball team. Thank you for being here.
Pleasure to be here, Byron.
What is your full name?
Joseph Michael Vigent.
When and where were you born?
I was born in Providence, Rhode Island on June 26th, 1964.
Did you or do you have a nickname?
Vig.
Vidge? How did you get that nickname?
It's just the first half of my last name, so kind of stuck.
What is your earliest childhood memory?
We used to spend summers in Matunic, and I was a young child, I guess, probably still in diapers. I remember walking around with a plastic bat. It started my affection for baseball.
Can you describe the personalities of your family members?
My dad was a very humble guy, quiet, very supportive. My mom was full-blooded Irish, loving, caring, but completely different than my dad. She was a hard charger. I had two brothers. One has passed away, but he was a free spirit. And I have a brother who but both of my brothers were older than me. One was 9, and my oldest one is 10 years older. So my oldest brother is someone that I really, really look up to. Call it the brains of the family. He's a really, really good guy. Young kids would play, but I was very attracted to sports from an early age, especially baseball, but all typical sports that kids would play: football, basketball. I guess I didn't really venture out too much into other sports, but probably the big three there. And it was always, I'm from Pawtucket, so we're always pretty active, and we had a good group of kids growing up that would participate and play the games with. So basically those three sports. Cottage in Matunic, so we'd spend a lot of the summers there. But yeah, occasionally with my friends would go to the movies and things like that. But again, I was a pretty big sports background, so I guess I was kind of a sports nerd.
Okay. So what was school like for you as a child?
It was great. It was a great experience. I went to a Catholic school, St. Edward's, and then it changed names, became a regional school, Woodlawn Catholic Regional, incorporated 3 parishes. And different than most kids, I think. My school was 100 yards from my house, so I'd get out and my parish where I grew up was about 100 yards from my house, so get out of bed and off to school. So it was a really, really good experience. The nuns were pretty tough, but very loving. High school was a continuation of, I'm Roman Catholic, so I went to St. Raphael Academy in Pawtucket. Very proud to say that I received my first college degree from Rhode Island College. I'm Rhode Island College through and through. And when I became a police officer, I went back to school and went to Roger Williams and obtained a law enforcement degree. In high school, I played baseball. I ran indoor track. I developed a passion there for lifting weights. Other than that, I wasn't much into other school activities because I was so active with the sports aspect of it. I was fortunate enough after college to be able to come and play here for 4 years, baseball-wise. So those were pretty much my activities, and it's continued, since I graduated too. Okay. Fads from my youth. I guess I was kind of a nerd all the way around. There may have been some fads. When I was very young, I can remember my older brothers going through the hippie stage, wearing the tie-dye clothes and things like that. But I was too young to get involved in that or to really have an idea as to what was going on. I guess there were some clothing fads growing up, but like I said, I was really just focused on, school and baseball and family and things like that. So I didn't really get involved in any of that stuff, but I'm sure there were.
Okay.
My hair has been the same since I was 16 years old. So we did, probably different than most families these days because everyone's so busy. Not that we weren't busy or my family wasn't busy when we were young, but it always seemed as if there were specific meals on specific days. My dad was a very good cook, however, was very busy. But I remember Sunday meals as a family, and he would always make something phenomenal. I would really, really look forward to that. My mom, who I adored, I don't think she couldn't boil water. So cooking-wise, she was a wonderful person. But we would have specific days. I remember eating a lot of shepherd's pie as a kid. That's the one thing my mom could make. And we'd have a pizza day. Might have spaghetti meatballs. But it seemed that each and every week there was something assigned to a specific day. So it was pretty cool. And we would eat as a family together. And I miss that an awful lot, actually.
Okay. So you said your dad did most of the cooking in your family?
On the weekends, he did. It was a struggle during the week. So my mom tried. It's not that she didn't cook for us, but she wasn't as an accomplished cook as my dad was. It was a great memory. We had a very close family. So relatives would come over, and like I said, I lived close to my parish. So nuns, priests would have everyone at our house on Christmas Eve, on Christmas. On Thanksgiving, something that I'd really, really look forward. The birth of my 3 boys. I don't think I could. They all go to school here. I couldn't be more proud of any of them. All 3 of them. They're wonderful kids, and the birth of all 3 of them was the proudest moment. And to watch them grow from infants to through childhood and young adults and being the men that they are today, they make me proud every time I think of them. Well, I have a degree here in business management. When I was about ready to graduate, it just seemed that all of my friends were becoming police officers. So I worked in the management field for a little bit, and I thought to myself, if they could do it, I could do it. So I started training, and what was good for them turned out to be great for me too. So I trained and I took the tests and was fortunate enough to land with the Coventry Police. I was there for 23 years. The accomplishments that I'm most proud of are the hard work that I put in with Coventry Police, the influences I think I've had on kids and young adults. I always strive to set a good example for them. It's always been very, very important to me. That's something that in my professional career I'm most proud of, that hopefully somebody has taken something that I've said or an example that I've set and can use that. I don't know all the answers. I don't profess to know all the answers, but I like to try and lead by example, and I love to try and influence kids and young adults into getting them on their path to being great in this world.
Okay.
Probably what I just talked about, that certainly not perfect. I don't know anybody who is. But there was always a passion to help, always a passion to teach. Certainly don't know all the answers. And I want folks to know that my efforts with them and my efforts here in life have always been true. So that's very important to me.
So how would you define the American dream?
That's a great question. The American dream. I don't think there's any specific answer. I probably would have answered this completely differently 20 years ago. I think the American dream is, I used to think that money was a huge indicator as to success. I no longer think that anymore. I try and live with the understanding, again, that no one's perfect. I try and live with a passion for helping people, whether they be my sons, my ex-wife, you, whoever, okay? I try and live with that passion, and that's how I would think I want to influence. As far as what accomplishments and regarding my own family, I'm thankful that they're truly healthy. I'm thankful that they're on a good path to make a difference, as I said. And I couldn't have dreamed anything better regarding them. So hopefully that covers your answer, or your question, excuse me.
Yes, it does. So it's been a pleasure to interview you today. Thank you for being here. This is Byron Karashkoza, and you've been watching Coming to New England.